Hello, and welcome back to Shatter Our Souls with what's likely to be the final episode of this particular series. The last time, oh, geez, um, last time we took down Walter Dahl. His entire ideology was to try to get Morgan Yu, aka me, out of the walls like a scurrying rat. The entire premise of it being that he wanted to stop all that from, or stop me, the one person who's actually able to help everybody. And Caspar here, the tech officer of Walter Dulles, isn't going to help me out.
Doors are working again, Morgan. Nice work. I'm taking what's left of my crew to the atmosphere controls and life support. We're going to clear out Dal's shitcan operators and make sure there are no more mishaps with the air on this station.
Oh. Okay, so we are heading to the Arboretum at this point, because it is officially time to meet Alex. Now, I've talked a little bit on it, and I think it's a good time to reiterate and reform the statements I had made. In that, what matters throughout this entire process, what matters in this game, isn't the immediate problems. It's not the Typhon. It's not TranStar as a whole. It's you. It's what you decide to do, the person you choose to be in this moment. And I think that speaks very loudly for what I believe the developers were actually aiming for. Because your entire goal is to attempt to save what you can, or not. It's an immersive sim. You can do what you want. But that's the beauty of this entire system, this entire game, is that ultimately you decide what it is you're after.
I promised you my arming cape. All I ask is you hear me out first. And you can blow Talos one to pieces if that's what you think is best. I don't think you'll do it. I know. Because I used to think we couldn't be trusted to play with fire without burning the house down. But you convinced me. You showed me anything was possible, even if the price was steep. That part of you is still in there. We can make history, Morgan. Not those leeches on the TranStar board of directors, not Mom and Dad. You and I. Just like we planned. We've got the data to confirm what you suspected. And Carl is broadcasting a neural signal. A secret message reaching to the stars. What I want to know is what is the message? And who is listening to it? I think you know. Ever since we first tested the Typhon Neuromods, you've known. This fabrication plan is for the null-wave device prototype you conceived. It will hijack the coral signal and use it to deliver a massive shock to every Typhon organism at once. Take it. And the army key, like I What? Morgan!
Meet the Apex, the true problem of this game. Now, as I'm sure you can see, it is absolutely massive and could easily destroy this ship if it was so inclined. But I've kind of been alluding to it. What matters is your decisions. Those who are gone were gone. Those you can save should be helped. The entire premise of the game is built on this foundation of trying to help people, trying to do the best with what you were given. And I'll be completely honest, it's kind of hits home. Now, given that we have officially made it to the bunker that has been hiding in plain sight the whole time, we're just gonna, take a little bit of everything, because I don't think Alex is gonna need it for much longer, especially given my current plan, which was to destroy the facility. Because I'm sorry, but Transstar, its lawless nature, the world in of itself that is here, shouldn't have to suffer from this.
Alex, this is Captain Marks. I'm calling to let you know I've authorized a full evacuation of Talos 1. I've tried to issue a mayday to Earthside operations, but our external communication systems are malfunctioning. If you're still with us, we're keeping our posts until the last pods are safely away. Marks out.
Jada Marks. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. I have both of the Armin keys now. Perfect. Anyways, with all of that in mind, to blow up the facility, I've first got to get down to the reactor core, so we're just going to take a slight detour.
That creature is still trying to consume the station, and I've picked up multiple hull breaches. I believe in you, Morgan. Make this count.
Wrong way. I'm not going outside in this. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. So, my reasoning for deciding that the ship shouldn't exist is due to what it represents. Transstar Corporation broke law upon law, sentenced criminals to death only to be harvested as, oh my goodness, we're just gonna go over the light here, harvested as exotic material, which is a fancy way of saying...
Morgan, you anticipated the kind of appeal Alex would make. Sibling bonds, history. You programmed me to refute him point by point. However, we can skip that. A Typhon the size of a skyscraper is currently eating Talos 1 for lunch. Ergo, Alex is wrong. Destroy the station. Just as you planned. The blast will take the monster down with it.
All personnel should report to muster stations immediately.
Morgan, we're in life support now. It's all clear. Air's normal across the board. I lost some good people fighting the black boxes. And Dahl wasn't here. If you see him before I do, make him pay.
Anywho, as I was getting to,
Hailazal out.
we need to get to the reactor core.
If the idea hasn't occurred to you, I'm sure it will eventually. Don't do it. I can't predict what would happen if you scan the apex, but all my models point to suffering.
So, my point being is that this represents a lawless land, a lawless world, where ultimately people were being mistreated, were doing harm for the sake of doing harm, harvesting humans for exotic materials. It was an absolute mess.
Warning.
Okay, I gotta run through this because I'm not firing a shot in this coolant chamber with knowing full well that it will explode.
Warning. Dangerous level of explosive gas
Oh, cool.
detected.
Medical operator. Let's just heal up quick. La-da, and into the final zone at the bottom of the station. I'm feeling pretty good about this. And by that I mean, gotta run, gotta go fast. Ultimately, I believe that this whole situation, this whole circumstance that I'm within right now, that is devolving into the destruction of the station, is important to look at. There's more at stake in this moment than what initially meets the eye.
You better do something. The reconstruction is destabilizing.
They're lying to you.
Hurry.
Good work. The reactor's primed and capable of delivering close to 30 megatons. More than enough. I'll meet you on the bridge for the last part. Hurry, Morgan. There won't be anything left to detonate if we're too late.
As you saw in that last image, there was a picture or an image of Earth with coral surrounding it. This is what Earth has actually become. Spoiler alert. The game is a simulation. And I mean that in both the fact that it's a video game, but also the fact that
Hello, nice to see you.
it's a simulation in this world.
Warning. Dangerous
The
level
entire
of explosive
premise of
gas
it
detected.
was to
Please
test if they could
evacuate and
actually
avoid all open
instill
flames or sparks until repairs can be made.
a sense of
Warning.
empathy and
Dangerous level of
neurons in
explosive
a
gas
phantom.
detected. Please warning.
And
Dangerous
I
level
think that
of explosive gas
would you,
detected. Please
knowing
evacuate
outright that
and
the
avoid all open
entire
flames or
station was to be
sparks until
destroyed,
repairs can be
save a
made.
life,
Level of explosive
or
gas
would you
detected.
save them the harm that would come from simply being involved in that situation? Ultimately, all of those decisions mean more than just what's there. And I think that's one of the beautiful parts about this game is that any decision is valid, any action you take is positive or negative. You're weighing checks and balances, and the further you get in, the harder those decisions become. But given that we've already primed the reactor core, it's time to head back to the Arboretum. More specifically, we're going to head back to the ship's command quarters. And there is a big reason for it. A, there's the only place in the entire building that can actually set off the explosion. But also because this will be our send-off. There is something that I wanted to get out during all of it that I feel like I failed to properly communicate.
Detected.
Morgan, I had to restrain Igwe several times by punching him. Who knows? I may have killed him. He tried to disable January. If you try to do the same, I can't let you do it. This station is proof of what happens when TranStar conducts operations unchecked. If the research survives, then the crimes here will continue, and these aliens, if even one survives, they'll escape again and again. Alex made his choice. Now, it is up to you to make the right one. If you want to trigger the null wave,
What
you'll
is
have to
being
go
brought
through me.
forward in here is, I think, important for us in general, especially in these trying times. See, it matters very little what happens, what actions you take, but you need to stand proud and do it. Chances are, people are going to make mistakes. We need grace. But we also need to come together towards a common goal, towards lifting one another up. Because every decision you make, every decision that I make, can be both radically detrimental and helpful.
Morgan, everything is ready. Now that the keys are armed, the order to execute is given from Captain Mark's terminal. I'm not able to execute. That responsibility is yours.
That's it.
Warning. Reactor detonation.
It's finished. All the directives you gave me have been completed. Next and final topic. Your mind is free of significant Typhon neuromods. I believe the risk you pose to Earth is minimal. However, despite my belief, I cannot act against my directives. On the other hand, if I were to suffer irreparable system damage, I would be unable to interfere with your escape. You already have the keycard to Alex's escape pod. Goodbye, Morgan.
I suppose the take-home message is do the best you can. Whatever that looks like. Build people up. Show the world who you really are. And now we're going to cut to a oddly grainy cutscene, which always kind of surprised me. It's kind of a odd one.
keep having this
And now,
dream.
at last, the mind game is over. I'll let this play out from here. If you like what you see, drop a like, leave a subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.
It's finished. How did it do?
Activation of the mirror neurons is promising. Empathy quotient shows to be exceptionally high.
It probably thinks it was dreaming, and nothing mattered.
You're assuming it thinks like us.
Its life depends on it. Ours too. It all comes down to the choices it made.
It saved me from the cargo container. I would have suffocated otherwise. It's remarkable that it never installed a single Typhon-based Neuromod. In my view, this demonstrates a strong identification with us.
Michaela,
I would have died without my medication. That wasn't easy. That says a lot, I think, about its heart. Can I say that it has a heart?
would you let it live?
Yes.
Sarah, you're next.
The situation in the cargo bay was bad. None of us would have survived without its help. And it destroyed a large number of Typhon across the station. That has to be a good sign. Further, it thwarted Dar's attempt to use us as hostages. If it were one of my officers, I would give it a commendation.
Danielle, what do you say?
It found me. It didn't need to, but it did. By then, it had already stopped Volunteer 37. Hard to say why. A lot of humans controlled by the Typhon ended up dead. Not that it was easy to avoid, but I think it's worth the risk.
In the end, it chose to destroy Talos 1. Why? To protect Earth? We can't really know what its motives were for anything it did.
But we have to make a choice. You can hear us, can't you? Here. I want to show you something. What you experienced was a reconstruction based on Morgan's memories. This is the world today. We spent years trying to put what you can do into us. We never tried putting what we can do into you. Until now. You're the bridge between our species. I need to know if you see us. I mean, really see us. Take my hand if you do. We're gonna shake things up. Like old
Special
times.
thanks goes out to Backdraft for the game in and of itself. Until next time, have a good one.